My name is Diana, a 44-year-old high school teacher from Houston, Texas. I never thought I would ever share my near-death experience. But after what happened, I feel compelled to tell you the truth. This is my near-death testimony. What truly happened when Jesus showed me the shocking truth about the cross, when he personally warned me, never use the symbol of the cross unless you know its true meaning. It all happened on March 20th, 2022. That afternoon felt ordinary. I had just finished my last class and was preparing lesson plans in my classroom. Then suddenly, a sharp pain struck my chest. So sudden, so violent that I dropped my pen. I thought it was stress, maybe heartburn. But within seconds, it became unbearable. I tried to call for help, yet no sound came. The world dimmed, and I collapsed right there at my desk. I didn't know it then, but a blood clot had reached my lungs, a massive pulmonary embolism. My heart stopped. And in that silence, time ceased to exist. The next moment, I was no longer in my classroom. There was no pain, no panic, only stillness, deeper than any silence I'd ever known. The air felt alive with peace. And before me stood a light, not blinding, but warm, living, pure. In that instant I knew. I didn't have to guess. My soul recognized him before my mind could form a word. It was Jesus. He looked at me, not as a stranger, but as someone who had known me forever. His eyes were filled with compassion beyond measure. "Diana," he said, "it is not yet your time. But I have brought you here because there is something you must understand." I could only whisper, "Lord, what is it you want me to know?" He smiled gently. "When you return, tell my people this message. They have used the symbol of the cross for centuries, but few truly know its meaning. Come, let me show you." Then everything around us changed. We weren't in heaven, nor on earth. It was beyond time itself. I saw moments in history unfold like living threads. Battles fought under the cross, ships sailing with it on their sails, and people wearing it as decoration, not devotion. Jesus spoke softly, yet his words carried eternal weight. "Do you see, Diana? The cross was never meant to be fashion. It was meant to be transformation." And from that moment, I knew this story would change not only my life, but maybe yours, too. When Jesus said, "Come, let me show you," the light around us began to move like living fire. We were standing outside of time, watching centuries unfold like pages of a book. He pointed, and scenes appeared before me. People in every generation wearing the cross, holding it, raising it, yet living as if it meant nothing. "Diana," Jesus said softly, "what do you see?" I looked closer. I saw celebrities wearing golden crosses on red carpets, soldiers painting the cross on their shields, jewelry stores selling it as fashion, and people tattooing it on their skin. "It's everywhere, Lord," I said quietly. "It's become so common that I never stop to ask what it truly means." Jesus nodded gently. "That is exactly the problem. The cross has become decoration, not devotion." Then his voice grew deeper, filled with sorrow. When I told my followers, "Take up your cross and follow me," they trembled, "Diana." Because in those days, the cross meant death, slow, public, humiliating death. It was the Roman instrument of torture. When they heard me say those words, they knew it meant surrender, even unto suffering. As he spoke, the light shifted again, and I saw horrifying scenes of the past. Men nailed to wooden beams, crowds jeering, tears, blood, fear. I saw the faces of Peter, Andrew, and Bartholomew, crucified for their faith. The pain was beyond what words could carry. And yet, through all that, I could feel one thing stronger than death: love. I turned to Jesus, trembling. "Lord, why the cross? Why such suffering? Why must it be this way?" He looked into my eyes and said, "Because only through that pain could I carry yours." Then he showed me the crucifixion, not like in the movies, but as if my soul could feel every heartbeat of heaven breaking. "I was not a victim," Jesus said firmly. "No one took my life from me. I gave it, willingly. Every strike, Every wound, every nail was my choice, out of love. His words pierced me deeper than any pain I'd ever known. I fell to my knees, realizing that the cross was never a symbol of fashion, but of sacrifice. Diana, he continued, people wear the cross but forget to carry it. They decorate their lives with symbols of me, but their hearts remain far away. The cross is not jewelry, it is a calling. His voice grew softer again. When you return to your world, tell them. The cross is not about what people have made of it, it's about what I did on it. I wanted to speak, but tears blurred my sight. And Jesus said one final thing before the vision faded. The cross is love that bleeds, grace that costs, and hope that conquers. The light began to fade. I felt myself falling, gently, back toward the world I once knew. If you're listening right now, take a moment to reflect. What does the cross mean to you? If you believe Jesus still saves, type Amen in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because each story here is meant to bring you closer to His mercy, His grace, and His protection. May the Lord bless you and keep you always. As the light faded and returned again, I found myself standing beside Jesus in what felt like a river of time. Each ripple in that river showed me a piece of history, how humanity had carried, worn, and fought under the cross. Watch closely, Diana, Jesus said. The river shimmered, and the scenes began. I saw armies marching beneath the cross, shouting that they fought for God. I saw the Crusades, where people killed and conquered while bearing my symbol. Then I saw ships with white sails marked by red crosses, sailing to new lands. Their captains spoke of faith, but their hands brought death and greed. Villages burned. Innocent lives were lost, all beneath the banner of the cross. Lord, I whispered, tears forming, they used your name while destroying others. Jesus' eyes filled with sorrow. Yes, Diana. They carried the cross but never carried my heart. The vision changed again. I saw kings wearing crowns lined with crosses, building empires, ruling in pride. I saw churches growing in wealth and power while the poor starved outside their doors. The cross was carved on gold and stone, yet love was missing from the hearts of those who held it. Jesus said, for centuries, people have turned my symbol into a weapon, a charm, or a trend. But the cross was never meant to dominate, it was meant to redeem. Then he turned to me and said softly, the cross is not what people have made it, Diana. It is not a sword to strike with. It is not a trophy to show off. It is not an accessory for attention. The cross is a bridge, between sin and forgiveness, between death and life. His words sank deep into my soul. I could see the truth so clearly. The cross itself was innocent, but what people did with it changed everything. Jesus continued, the cross is holy because of what happened on it, not because of the wood, or the shape, or the symbol. It is holy because I filled it with my love. Then he looked at me and said, tell my people, the cross on your neck, your wall, your skin, none of these matter if your heart does not know me. The Father does not look at outward symbols. He looks at your heart. As he said those words, I saw a single tear fall from his face, not of anger but of compassion. And I realized for the first time that Jesus was not condemning the world, he was calling it back home. When the last tear from his face touched the ground, everything around us changed. The scenes of war and pride disappeared, and suddenly I was standing before a hill, silent, solemn, and holy. Jesus looked at me and said, now, Diana, I will show you the power of the cross, not its pain, but its victory. The hill lit up with radiant light. I saw the moment of his crucifixion, but it was not filled with despair, it was filled with divine purpose. Every wound was love spoken in a language deeper than words. Every drop of blood carried redemption. Every breath that left his body gave life to a dying world. Jesus' voice echoed through eternity. I was not defeated on the cross. I won there. And I saw it, the moment death was broken. Darkness split apart like shattered glass, and light poured through the universe. Chains that bound souls for generations snapped open. Demons fled. The heavens rejoiced. The cross, Jesus said, was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of yours. He looked into my eyes, and I felt like he was speaking directly into my heart. Diana, I took your shame, your pain, your sins, and I nailed them there. You do not carry them anymore. But every day, you must choose to carry me. I fell to my knees, overwhelmed. Lord, how can I ever repay you? He smiled with such peace. By living what I died for. By loving those who hate you. Forgiving those who hurt you. And walking in truth when the world chooses lies. Then he placed his hand over my heart. The warmth that flowed through me was unlike anything human. Taking up your cross daily, he said, doesn't mean suffering endlessly, it means surrendering completely. It means letting go of your pride, your anger, your fear, and letting me live through you. The light around us shimmered again, and I could hear what sounded like thousands of voices singing. Not sorrow, but victory. The cross, he whispered, is where love conquered death, where mercy overcame judgment, and where eternity opened its door to humanity. And in that moment I understood. The cross is not a symbol of religion. It's a heartbeat of love. The light began to fade, and I could feel my body calling me back. Jesus placed his hand on my forehead and said, Diana, your time here is not finished yet. You must return and share what I've shown you. I didn't want to leave. How could anyone want to walk away from that peace, that presence? But his eyes were steady and full of purpose. There are people, he said, who wear my cross but do not know me. There are hearts waiting for the truth. You must go and tell them. Before I could speak, the world around me dissolved into brilliance, then darkness. And suddenly, I gasped for air. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital room surrounded by doctors and nurses. Machines were beeping, my body shaking. One doctor whispered, "She's back. We got her." They told me later that my heart had stopped for 4 minutes. By every medical explanation, I should not have survived. But I knew why I had returned. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was mercy. It was purpose. It was Jesus. 3 years have passed since that day. I've shared my story with thousands, in churches, online, in whispers to those who are lost. Some people laughed. Some doubted. But many cried. Many looked at the cross again and saw it not as jewelry, but as grace. Jesus was right. The world had forgotten what the cross truly means. It's not about displaying it. It's about living it. Not about wearing it on your chest, but carrying it in your heart. Sometimes I still wear a cross necklace. But now, every time I touch it, I remember. This is not decoration. This is declaration. A reminder that he died so I could live. And that my life must reflect his love. So now I ask you, what does the cross mean to you? If you wear it, do you carry it? If you carry it, do you live it? Because Jesus told me one thing I can never forget. The cross itself has no power, until your heart believes in what happened on it. And that's why I'm telling you this story. Not to shock you, but to remind you that your faith is not measured by what's on your body. It's measured by what's inside your soul. If this story has spoken to your heart, take a moment right now. Comment, "I carry my cross with Jesus," below. Let this be your public declaration of faith, your step toward renewal. And if you believe in the power of God's love, hit like, share this video with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to stay close to the stories that lift faith and awaken souls. May the peace of Christ be with you, and may his cross live in your heart forever.